Christina drops by her dad's office to see him. They embrace, and he calls her timing perfect. He wonders what he owes the visit to. She wanted to check on him given he's had a lot going on and to make sure he's okay. He tells her that he's fine, but she can tell he's not okay, and this is exactly where she needs to be. Sunny says she has one of the biggest hearts he knows but insists he's fine. He's been through a lot, and it's hard to keep him down. Christina agrees, calling him her rock, but is worried he could go to prison for beating Cyrus. Sunny thinks back to his conversation with Dex about Cyrus and tells Christina that he's not going to prison because he has a family that needs him. Sunny says he's been through a lot worse and has survived. Christina knows, but she's still selfishly worried that he won't be here when she needs him. Sunny says he will be here by her side always, but she needs to know she's strong enough to do things on her own. Christina admits never once would she have thought she could be a surrogate for Molly and TJ, but he's helped her find confidence in herself finally. Sunny tells her that Alexis deserves some credit too, and never doubt that she believes in her. Christina realizes he and her mom have been talking, and Sunny explains Alexis has just been worried about her and Molly. Christina still gives her dad a big part of the credit, and she admires the code of ethics he lives by. She says she saw it grow stronger from his experience in Nixon Falls, and she attributed that to Nina, but guesses she was wrong. She says she liked Nina so much, but she was so vindictive in going after Carly. In the end, Nina got nothing she wanted, and it cost her everything. Sunny flashes to beating up Cyrus and ordering Dex to kill Cyrus. Sunny tells Christina that sometimes people are blinded by their own pain. Christina says she gets that. She's the queen of lashing out. Nina couldn't see the right path, but he always has his eyes open. At the hospital, Dex watches as Nina goes into Cyrus' room. Cyrus is glad to see Nina, but she's not happy to see him. She lashes out at him for lying about being a priest and destroying her marriage and relationship with her daughter. He says it all would have come out anyway, and doesn't she feel better now that it has? Nina says she doesn't. He says the truth hurts, and now the healing process can begin. She accuses him of using this opportunity to get back at Sunny and hurt him. Cyrus swears he has nothing against Sunny and wanted to help her and Sunny ease their pains, and if her marriage is floundering then he's sorry. She says if he's truly sorry, then he needs to make amends and drop the charges against Sunny. Cyrus says unfortunately he has no powers when it comes to law enforcement, and as Sunny's victim, why shouldn't he want justice served? Nina tempts him and says, I can give you something you want more. He admits sometimes it's acceptable to accept a tithing. Meanwhile, Dex changes into scrubs and gets a text saying, on my way. A nurse approaches and asks if he's lost, but Dex says he isn't. She notices he has no badge and asks who he is. He claims he's a temp orderly, and this is his first day, and he must have left his phone in the locker room. She asks him to turn off his phone because he can't be on it at work. Later, Dex spots Nana leave Cyrus' room. He misses a call from Sunny, who is calling to tell him to call the hit off at the courthouse. Laura talks to Ava outside of the courtroom and again asks her to drop the charges against Esme. Ava won't drop the charges as Esme deserves to pay for everything she did to her and Trina. Laura says those are separate charges. Ava gets a call and leaves to take it. Laura heads into court and asks Esme how she's holding up. Esme admits she'd be better if Spencer came with Ace as he promised. Laura is sure they will be here soon, and she needs to focus on herself. Laura understands if Esme blames her for the trouble that she's in, but Esme says she's the one who has messed up again and has to pray for a miracle. Martin enters, and Laura thinks she can arrange for that. Martin speaks with Ada Lansing Davis to discuss a deal for his client, Esme Prince. Molly says she admitted to the crime. It's an open and shut case. Laura speaks up that Esme turned herself in and is suffering from memory loss and made a mistake, and there was no real damage done to the property and nothing stolen. Martin asks his sister to let him handle this, so she gives them space. Martin tells Molly he is going to push his client to plead not guilty, so there will be a trial. He promises Esme will get on the stand and spill her story with a lot of tears, and juries tend to be sympathetic to people held captive. Ava runs into Trina in the halls and is glad to see her here today. Trina says she was able to talk to her dad after his surgery, and he reminded her to focus on her future. She fills her in on the trip to Paris with Spencer, Esme's asked and how she Ava plays. She pleads guilty, and the judge understands a deal has been struck. Molly has agreed to 6 months of probation and no arrest. Ava is furious and storms over to Laura and asks what happened. Laura says she advocated for justice. Esme is sentenced to 6 months of probation by the judge, and Ava lashes out at Molly for this travesty of justice. Molly says this was a minor crime, it would have been a nuisance and a cost to take it to trial, and justice was served. Molly walks off, and Ava promises Trina that this isn't over by a long shot. Meanwhile, Esme thanks Martin, but he says she should thank Laura. He warns her she's on probation, and if she does anything else, she will face jail time. Laura later tells Esme now that she's been given probation to leave her past behind her and focus on her future. Esme says she will. Laura gets a call and has to run as duty calls, but she'll see her soon. Alone, Esme turns around and sees Trina standing there. In the dorms, Joss bangs on Adam's door until his roommate answers. He says Adam isn't here, he took his guitar and some vodka and left. Joss rushes off. Joss finds Adam in the park strumming his guitar and downing vodka. She knows he's mad at her, but she can explain herself. He says what's done is done. She's worried about him, so he asks her if she's his friend, then just leave him. She refuses to leave him because she is his friend. Joss manages to grab the bottle away from him and insists he needs to get help. Adam says nothing matters now, he's miserable all the time, and she can't change that. Joss admits she doesn't have the same problems as him, but someone out there understands him and he should talk to them. He says it doesn't matter and he passes out. In his pocket, Joss finds he's overdosed on over-the-counter pills. Joss calls the paramedics as she tries to get Adam to wake up. The paramedics soon arrive to take Adam to the hospital as Joss watches. At Laura's place, Spencer is stunned to open the door to his father. Spencer invites his dad in, and Nikolas tells him he looks good. He thanks Spencer for stepping up and taking care of Ace instead of just handing him off to his grandmother. Spencer realizes his dad has been keeping tabs on them. Nikolas cries he had to leave, they would have put him in prison, but he never stopped loving him and Ace. Spencer wasn't sure how he'd feel about him given he was blackmailing him over Ace back then. Nikolas says it was very Cassadine of him. Spencer has played out all the scenarios in his head about how this meeting would go. Nikolas knows his son hates him, and he deserves everything he is coming to him. Spencer tells his dad, "There is only one thing left to say, I'm sorry." Nikolas is stunned. Spencer says he supposes he knows Ryan and Heather are Esme's parents, and Esme and Ryan used him to cause pain for his father and Ava. He was so angry back then that he let them in. Nikolas says he was the one who gave Esme and Ryan this opening, and he's the one who ruined his marriage by sleeping with Esme. Spencer can see his father is sorry, and Nikolas wants to do whatever he can to make things right. Spencer says, like abandoning your newborn son so you don't go to jail. Nikolas says he knows he abandoned Ace, but he also abandoned Spencer again. He knows he failed at being his parent, and he can't change the past. However, they had their moments, and some of his favorite memories are when he was younger. Spencer cries that he was his whole world and loved him so much. Nikolas says he still loves him and that will never change. Suddenly, Ace cries from his room, and Nikolas asks if he can meet him. Spencer brings Ace out to meet his father. Nikolas holds Ace and cries about how big he is, and that he looks like Spencer and has their ears, and his grandmother's nose. He cries that he's made so many bad decisions, but his sons are the best part of him. Spencer asks his father to stay. He tells him that Liz cut a deal, and he can hire Diane. However, he realizes Nikolas has no intention of staying. Nikolas says this time it will be different as he's taking his sons with him. On the next General Hospital, Trina tells Esme that she deserves to be in jail. Spencer tells his father that he may think this is his only option, but it's not his. Willow calls someone to General Hospital. Carly tells Joss this is really serious. Nana says she'd do anything for the man that she loves. In Cyrus' room, Dex injects his IV. Sunny appears and asks, "What do you want in return?" "That's what I want to know." Finn works to save Adam, who seizes. Missed today's episode? Catch up via Hulu.